Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes. And it's Sunday, and you know what that means. I'm back at you with your AEW All In review, man. And I haven't really had much time to really talk about the build to All In. And honestly, I feel like it's better than last year's All In build, but I still feel like there's room for improvement. But you know, it is what it is. We're here now, man. We're at the show. And me personally, I feel like this year's All In was a lot better than last year's. That's just my opinion. Feel like the stories were built a little bit better than last year's. I feel like it was a lot more focused, even though you don't have that novelty of, oh, are they going to sell out or are they not going to sell out? You still have that focus on the stories, the builds to each match, and you know, the flow was actually really good. But let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's just go ahead and get into this show. And I ended up missing the pre-show. The only thing I did see was that Strickland Hathaway was dressed like Michael Jackson from the Remember the Time video. If you know, you know, man. Just go and check it out. It's an amazing song, an amazing video. And another thing I saw was Mariah coming out. She's coming out to the ring. She's whining and crying to the crowd that she's not being respected and that she won the championship, the AEW Women's Championship last year, and she's not being treated with the respect that she deserves. And she's gonna hold up the entire show until she gets some respect. And you kind of figure somebody's gonna come out, and that somebody ended up being the returning Jamie Hayter, who got a hero's welcome. And I honestly can't really remember how long it's been since Jamie Hayter last wrestled, how long she's been out, but she's been out for a hot minute, and she is back. And she ended up beating up Saraya's whole entire family, which was hilarious. So the opening match was the ladder match for the Trios Championship. Christian and his family was defending their titles against the House of Black, the Bang Bang Gang, and as I like to call them, the Bastard Combat Club or the Pac-Pool Combat Club, because you have Claudio, Castagnolia, and Yuta linking up with Pac. And word on the streets is this was originally supposed to be the Lucha Brothers, but it seems like they're out the door. They're going to WWE, so you gotta throw in a little curveball, switch it up a little bit. And to be honest with you, it was a pretty cool curveball to throw, because even though it did seem like a random pairing, the Blackpool Combat Club and Pac did work really well together as a team. And even commentary said that this was the first time in a long time you've seen Pac smile, because you never really see Pac smiling. He's always looking angry. So it's good to see happy Pac linking up with the BCC. And to my surprise, I was thinking the Bang Bang Gang was going to end up winning the trio titles, but it was indeed the Blackpool Combat Club and Pac. And Pac finally got his Wembley moment. You know, he's celebrating, and I'm like, does this mean he's officially in the club? Is he like adjacent? Is he an honorary Blackpool Combat Club member? I don't know. But the match itself was fun. Everyone was beating up Christian, you know, and there was a whole bunch of times where it looked like Killswitch was going to win the match for his team, but Christian wanted all the glory, and that ended up leading to the downfall of the Patriarchy. And even Christian was like, yo, what are you doing, you giant dinosaur, man? This is messed up. You ruined everything. So that's something to pay attention to in the near future. We had Mariah versus Toni Storm and the Blood Feud, the Grudge match, possibly one of the best built matches on the card, one of the best executed heel turns I've ever seen from Mariah. So you already knew the match was going to be fire. And for what it was worth, it was a really, really, really good match. I don't know if I was expecting too much. It was good. I thought it could have been a little bit better, but to the surprise of nobody, Toni Storm lost. She lost her mind. You know, she's in the middle of the ring laughing and crying and whatnot, because Mariah is the new AEW Women's Champion. And Mariah, she's lost her mind too. She's slapping her mom. I'm like, that's some white people shit. But that's neither here nor there. Mariah is your new AEW Women's Champion. You even see Mina Shirakawa watching the match. She's looking conflicted. She doesn't know what to do. And I'm like, what's the real conflict that Mariah is your friend and Toni, y'all been cool for like a cup of coffee, but it is what it is. Me personally, I feel like Mina and Mariah are gonna end up having a match. Maybe at All Out, maybe in the future, we'll see. So when the graphic popped up that the next match was gonna be Hook versus Chris Jericho, I let out the biggest "oh brother" you ever heard in your entire life. And I was really ready to check out. I was really ready to tune out. Especially once Chris Jericho came out and started performing with Fozzy. He's doing the Hi Guys. He's singing the Learning Tree song. And I'm just ready, really ready just to pull all my hair out. And I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. This wasn't bad. This was actually pretty fun. It was a pretty fun match. I can't lie to you. Because the way it started off, you had Hook coming out to the ring. His theme kind of started off like Taz's old theme with the boom boom and the beep beep. So that was a pretty cool homage to Taz. And then it's under FTW rules, which means it's pretty much a glorified Extreme Rules match. And the Learning Tree ended up beating up Hook. And Hook ended up hitting everyone with suplexes. Brian Keith, Big Bill, who was extremely over for some reason. I don't know why. This started last night on Collision, and dude was just over. The people were cheering for Big Bill, almost to the point where they were kind of booing Hook. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? But it came down to Hook and Chris Jericho. It kind of leveled out a little bit more. You heard a couple people chanting, "Please retire." But the people were really up for Hook when it was just Hook and Chris Jericho. But it was the numbers game, man. They kept doing their thing. The Learning Tree kept getting involved. Almost to the point where Taz got it from commentary and ended up choking out Brian Keith. I'm like, yo, this black on black violence has to end. Hook ended up choking out Chris Jericho. And once again, he's the FTW champion. Now, honestly, I was kind of rooting for Hook to lose because the conditions of the match were if Hook lost, he'll be out of the Jericho Vortex. They will leave him alone. And I was low-key rooting for Hook to lose because I feel like even though, the FTW championship is like his father's championship and he's trying to carry on the legacy, I kind of feel like Hook is kind of at the point where he's moved beyond the FTW championship. Maybe he needs to move on to the TNT championship, International championship, whatever. But I feel like he needs to get past this whole Jericho Vortex, get past the whole FTW championship. That's just me, but it was a pretty cool moment, father and son holding up their family championship. So next up was for the AEW Tag Team Championships, and honestly, this was another match I kind of sort of checked out on, especially with the build, dealing with the Acclaim, because I'm tired of the Acclaim. FTR is fine. The Young Bucks, they've really been hit or miss. They haven't really defended the tag team titles since they won them. They only defended the tag team titles once. So the build to this match was kind of mid. The match itself was a whole lot better than the build. It was really fun. You've got glimpses of the old Young Bucks. They felt more, tapped in. They had their big boy pants on. They were pumping up their sneakers. And they were moving like the Young Bucks that I'm used to. You know what I mean? And there was a couple of times where I thought the Acclaim was going to win. And I didn't want this because I'm tired of the Acclaim. So I was like, please, anybody but the Acclaim. But my prayers were answered. The Young Bucks ended up retaining. Overall fun match, man. Afterwards, you see the Young Bucks celebrating. And then you see the grizzled young veterans show up. And I'm like, yo, what's really going on? And they pull up, they're looking at the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are holding up the tag team titles. And then GYV ends up attacking FTR. And I'm like, are they signed? Because I've seen them wrestle on Collision one time. And we haven't really seen much from Grizzly Young Veterans in AEW. So this is the second time they've appeared. I'm expecting to see an All Elite graphic. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they got going on. But, maybe this might be the boost that the tag team division needs. Because here lately, the AEW's tag division has been kind of cheeks, man. It hasn't really been living up to, the standard that AEW has presented as tag team division in the past. So hopefully this could help. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe, we'll see. So after this, the show really starts to pick up because now it's the Casino Gauntlet. It started off with Orange Cassidy and Okada, and they're doing their thing. And you're having different competitors come out. And one of the first big surprises of this match was Nigel McGuinness wrestling. We haven't seen Nigel McGuinness wrestle in so long. So this really had to be a special moment for him, wrestling in front of his home country. He's looking in great shape. I don't know if he's going to be wrestling full time. And me personally, I'm like, well, if the outcome of the main event goes the way I think it's gonna go, and you have Nigel McGuinness wrestling, that might be a match we need to see in the future, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Nigel McGuinness is out there, he's doing his thing, man. You have Kyle O'Reilly, Roddy, all these different wrestlers come out. And then you have Hangman come out, who was a heavy favorite going into this match. Me personally, I didn't think Hangman was going to win. I thought John Moxley was going to show up, but he didn't show up at all. But the man that did show up was the debuting Ricochet. The rumors are true. Streets are saying he signed a multi-year deal with AEW, and he pulled up, he made his debut, man. He's doing his thing, he's doing his Ricochet thing, man. And I'm really excited for Ricochet in AEW, because now you get to see, you kind of got to see a taste of what he could do in WWE, but you really didn't get to see him unleash like you can in AEW. So I'm really excited to see. You already know the Will Ospreay Ricochet match is happening. We already know that's going to happen. But there's so many different matchups we can see with Ricochet. And I think it's a good look. I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for Ricochet. And then as more competitors come out, you have Christian come out. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Christian's making his way out to the ring. And then not too long after that, Killswitch, but now he's going by Luchasaurus. He comes out. And him and Christian are kind of beefing because, you know, Christian talked bad to him because of Luchasaurus. So you're thinking this is where we get the big turn where Luchasaurus finally grows a set and becomes the dinosaur we all know him and love him to be. But that wasn't the case. He actually ended up helping Christian win. And Christian won the Casino Gauntlet match, which means that he's going to get an AEW championship match whenever he wants. I guess they're trying to kind of treating this like the Money in the Bank situation, which is why so many people thought Hangman was going to win, but end up interfering in the Swerve Danielson match, which kind of happened, but he wasn't the winner of the Gauntlet match. Ospreay versus MJF for the American Championship. Now, between this and the main event, these were the two matches I was looking forward to the most, especially after the match they had on that episode of Dynamite, the match that went for over an hour. I didn't feel like it needed to go that long, but it was still a good match. And now they had the task of living up to the hype they built up with the first match. Did they do it? I think they did, man. They did it with less time. However, the whole story of the whole Tiger Driver and Will Ospreay hit it, even though his best friends told him hit it, even though Bryan Danielson gave him his blessing to go in and hit the move, Will Ospreay is still conflicted about whether or not he should hit the Tiger Driver. And I'm at home just yelling, just hit the damn move, Will, just do it. And another thing that happened was apparently somebody stole MJF's Dynamite Diamond Ring, which is something that MJF depends on a lot. So that created a whole new dynamic for him. So, you know, MJF's trying to cheat. He's trying to hit Will Ospreay with the AEW American Championship. And there's a whole bunch of shenanigans and ref bumps and all types of hooly-hoos and whatnot's going on. But the person that ended up costing MJF the match was none other than Daniel Garcia. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, that's right, he's still going to be with AEW. And I'm like, I mean, that could be true. He could have re-signed, or maybe he hasn't re-signed yet. I don't know what the situation with Daniel Garcia's contract is. I don't know when it expires. I don't know if he's going to resign or not. Maybe he's just here to finish up his storyline with MJF and then go to WWE, or maybe he'll resign. I don't know. But what I do know is we have a new American champion, Will Ospreay. And you have the referee trying to hand Will the belt. And it's like, man, I don't want that rubbish. Christopher Daniels comes up and he presents him with the International Championship. So now it's officially the International Championship once again. Hooray for Will Ospreay. And this also means that in a couple weeks at All Out, it's going to be Will Ospreay versus Pac for the International Championship, which should be a fire match. Whew, boy. Okay. So now we have, for the TBS Championship, we have Mercedes Moné taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And on paper, a lot of people were really excited for this match. The build, it started off hot and then it fell all the way off. It didn't start picking back up until the go-home show of Dynamite. But it's like, alright, we still have the match. The match can, you know, it can save this. Because Mercedes is really good. And Britt Baker, it kind of depends on what day of the week it is, whether she's good or whether she's not as good as, you know, she could be. And honestly, this match wasn't as good as I thought it would be, man. It was really a Mercedes carry job. Long story short, Mercedes won. She's still your TBS champion. There was one spot that kind of had me a little hot because Britt Baker did the Eddie Guerrero spot where she tossed Camille the championship, took a bump, made it look like Camille hit her, and the whole time I'm looking at Camille like, dude, just drop the title because the referee hasn't turned around yet. But the referee finally does turn around. Camille's like, I didn't do it, and it's like, bro, you look so dumb right now, and I hate that when it's not done right. So that was my only complaint besides the match not being that good. Mercedes is still your TBS champion. Let's move on to the coffin match between Darby Allin and Jack Perry. And I was expecting some insane shenanigans to go down. And Darby Allin, that dude is crazy because he came out with thumbtacks taped to his face or glued to his face or whatever. I'm like, yo, this dude, he's gonna go nuts. And the match was good. It was a little bit shorter than I expected because it ended, the way it ended was like, I expected there to be some more going on with the match, but it kind of ended a lot quicker than I expected it to. But it was still a fun match nonetheless. There was real glass, you know, you can't have All In without Jack Perry, and you can't have Jack Perry without real glass, you know. And they were saying F you CM Punk because of what happened last year. So that was kind of funny. Darby Allin got put in a body bag. He got tied up by his hand and his feet. He got put in a body bag. And I'm expecting Darby to like bust out like the Kool-Aid Man out of the coffin. And Jack Perry's taking forever to close the coffin. I'm like, yo, just close the coffin. And eventually he did. And that's why I said that it kind of ended a lot quicker than I thought it would. Jack Perry is pouring lighter fluid on the body bag. He's pouring lighter fluid on the coffin. The Young Bucks are coming out. You're thinking, all right, either one or two things is gonna happen. Either they're gonna light this man on fire for real, or Sting is gonna come out. And Sting did come out, you know, it's Sting. He came out to seek and destroy. Fun moment, man. He's there with Darby. Jack Perry looks like he went doo-doo in his trousers. So it was an okay match. I thought it could go a little bit longer, but I still had fun with it. But now this leads us to our main event, man. The reason we're all here, the reason people went all the way to Wembley Stadium from all over the world to see what could possibly be Bryan Danielson's last match. Now, you see the shirt, man. Bryan Danielson, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I legit cried when the man had to retire from WWE the first time. And I was kind of prepared to cry again in case he lost. But, spoiler alert, like I mentioned earlier, he didn't lose. He won in Wembley Stadium. He won in front of his family. He beat Swerve. There were shenanigans out the wazoo for this match. Multiple psycho knees. There was in one spot where Danielson was powering up. He was doing yes. He hit Swerve in the face with the knee, and Swerve just brushed that thing off like it was water off a duck's back. I'm like, holy smokes, Swerve, what have you done? You even had Hangman Adam Page come out, which I kind of thought he was gonna do that anyway, and kind of cost Swerve the match. Even though, you know, he provided a slight distraction, he didn't really cost Swerve the match, but he did see Swerve lose. So I guess that's some form of revenge for, you know, all the things Swerve did to him and his family. And, you know, Swerve's healing it up. He's beating Bryan Danielson up in front of his family. But Bryan Danielson ended up winning with the LeBell Lock, and he's finally the AEW World Champion. And I gotta say it, man. I don't know how you guys feel about the GOAT. I don't know how you guys feel about Bryan, but I feel like he really is the best wrestler in the world. I feel like he's one of the best wrestlers to ever do it, man. Ring of Honor champion, WWE champion, and now AEW champion. One of the GOATs, man. One of the GOATs. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your All In 2024 review. All In 2025 is going to be in Texas next year. I think they also said that Forbidden Door is going to be in London. What other show was going to be overseas? There's another show that they're going to have in Australia. So, you know, AEW is doing big things. And we're still waiting for the announcement of the WWE, the Warner Brothers deal. It's coming. We all know it. You have Tony Khan doing interviews with that Max hat on. So you already know that's coming. With that being said, guys, what did you think of All In? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Bees, I'm out. Peace.